Ravenwood was a quiet, isolated village buried deep in the Vermont countryside and looked like something out of a postcard. It wasn't the kind of place you'd expect to become the center of a chilling investigation until the night Lily Harper vanished. It started with a short walk home and ended in a nightmare no one saw coming. And it was up to Agent Red, a man known for cracking the toughest cases, to uncover the truth. What he found would haunt Ravenwood forever. It was late October. The air was heavy with the scent of falling leaves and the distant crackle of bonfires. Lily Harper had spent the evening at her best friend Claire's house. At 8:00 p.m., she grabbed her jacket and left, promising to text Claire once she got home. But that text never came. The path home was familiar, just a 10-minute walk down a quiet country road. But that night, something went terribly wrong. Lily never made it. Her parents grew worried when she didn't show up. They called Claire, but she hadn't seen her since she left. By sunrise, the panic had spread. The villagers organized a search, parties. They combed the woods, checked abandoned buildings, and searched every field. No sign of her. Then, someone found a torn piece of fabric snagged on a fence post near the edge of the forest. It matched the blue jacket Lily had been wearing. Nearby, something else was discovered, a shoe print in the soft dirt, far larger than Lily's. It was clear now. This wasn't just a disappearance. Something far worse had happened. 2 days later, Agent Red arrived in Ravenwood. He was a seasoned investigator with a reputation for solving cases others couldn't. Calm, methodical, and unrelenting, Red wasn't one to believe in accidents or coincidences. He believed in patterns. And the pattern here was troubling, the Seoul. Villagers seemed helpful at first. But as Red questioned them, he noticed a change. Some were evasive, others spoke in hushed tones, and a few avoided him altogether. Ravenwood was a place where people knew how to keep secrets. The first real lead came from Edith Morris, an elderly woman who lived near the road Lily had taken. She'd been looking out her window that night, watching the fog roll in. She saw Lily walk past, alone at first, but then a man followed her. He stayed in the shadows, Edith said. He was careful, almost like he didn't want to be seen. When Red pressed for details, Edith faltered. The man's face was hidden in the dark. All she could recall was the long, dark coat he was wearing and the way he moved, slow and deliberate. Red's instincts kicked in. This wasn't a random act. Someone had been watching Lily, waiting for the perfect moment. The investigation led him to the edge of the village, specifically to the crumbling farmhouse owned by Thomas Grayson, a loner with a reputation for keeping to himself. Grayson lived in isolation, surrounded by fields of dying crops and rotting sheds. When Red knocked on his door, Grayson greeted him with a calm smile. Too calm. "I've got nothing to hide," Grayson said. "I didn't see the girl that night." But Red wasn't convinced. His eyes scanned the room, taking in the details. The muddy boots by the door, the faint smell of damp earth, the padlock on the cellar door. Something was off, and Red trusted his gut. He returned later with a search warrant. What he found beneath? That padlocked cellar door would shake the entire village. The cellar was small and suffocating, with dirt walls and a single flickering light bulb. In the corner, a pile of old belongings lay half-buried. Lockets, bracelets, torn pieces of clothing. Trophies. Among them was Lily's phone, its screen shattered but still recognizable. Red didn't need Grayson to confess. The evidence spoke for itself. Grayson had been watching Lily for weeks, planning her abduction down to the last detail. And he wasn't just responsible for Lily's disappearance, there were others. A search of the surrounding woods revealed 3 shallow graves. Each one held the remains of a young woman who had gone missing in the last decade. The quiet village of Ravenwood had been harboring a monster for years. Thomas Grayson was taken into custody. His arrest was met with a mix of shock and relief. Some villagers couldn't believe it. Others admitted they had always found him unsettling. Lily Harper's body was returned to her family, but the scars left on Ravenwood ran deep. The once idyllic village had become a symbol of tragedy, a reminder that even the most peaceful places can hide the darkest secrets. As Agent Red drove out of Ravenwood, he couldn't help but wonder how many other secrets the village still held, waiting to be discovered. Evil can hide anywhere, even in the most unassuming places. If this story kept you on edge, make sure to hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more gripping mysteries. And remember, stay alert. Trust your instincts, because sometimes the biggest danger is where you least expect it.